Hey, what y'all want me to say? Traum got a W? Like, okay, all right, you Traum Zookeeper boys, y'all up, okay? Congratulations, y'all finally got a chapter where he looks dominant. Whatever, fam. Before we get into the details, hit that sub button because I gotta cover this fight, even though I'm not necessarily enjoying the chapter right now, only because of my bias, but y'all know what we getting into. And Tower of God anime dropping next week. We are what? 5 days away? 4? Don't quote me on that. But yeah, check me out. I plan to do a live reaction. I will be dropping a community post to explain that whole thing and how I'm going to approach it. And yeah, look for a lot of reaction video and all that. So shout out to season 2 anime. But let's get into this manga. So the chapter begins with more of the disconnection technique, and we get a background on the technique when it was first developed. So we see Traum explaining to Edwin and GUSGANG how it works, and these two really couldn't see the use for the technique in battle. Now we know like somebody like Traum, he obviously can find ways to do things that other people can't. That's the type of person he is. So it absolutely suits him. So Traum wants to stop GUSGANG before he pulls out his library. Now before I get into the details of what's going on, what's in this library? What do y'all think is in this library? Okay. Me personally, I think that GUSGANG can probably take different stories from his library and maybe use different techniques from it. For example, what if there's like a Greek mythology book in there and he can use the power of Hercules or the power of Zeus or something like that, right? That would be pretty cool if he could do something like that. I imagine that's what it can be because we know it's all about imagination with them. So I hope it's something like that. That'd be pretty damn cool. And Traum doesn't want to deal with it, so he's trying to end it, and he ends up like really cluttering the area. And GUSGANG ends up having to destroy it with his fire, but it's only temporary. Where Traum says you're not getting away, trapping him in this giant structure, and then begins to clutter the area with more Shinua. GUSGANG didn't foresee this megalodon being able to grow as large as it has, consuming the other sharks around it. It's grown insanely huge. So in between disconnection boxing them in and all these anima, GUSGANG looks like he's in a bit of trouble. One thing I did not like about this whole fight and everything that's kind of going on right now is the art. The explosions on most of these panels, I mean, it's just explosions with disconnection in it. And it's very confusing when the panels are kind of stacked the way they are. It gives me bomb white vibes where just Shinsu and explosions flying all over the place. Not liking it. I hope we can get a little bit away from that, especially with the destructive force of two family heads. But what ends up happening is GUSGANG ends up trying to write himself something on the paper, which he does. And this will probably save him, but I will give it to the Tron fanboy. This connection shot to the neck, it's a fire panel. I gotta give it to you. It's a fire panel, it's a fire technique. Ends up looking like it severs GUSGANG's head. Do I think that's what's gonna happen? No, absolutely not. GUSGANG got some words off on that book. So hopefully my boy comes up strong. But for now, Neutron fans got it or whatever. Then we get to see Dorsey and Belier, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't really give a shit about them. They're trying to escape the area of the fight with the destruction. Belier ends up trying to get Dorsey to help him get Traum's peace back. And Dorsey is reluctant, obviously, but she gives in, and they both plan to betray each other. Like, this is pretty obvious, pretty clear thing to happen. However, I know everybody, is basically feeling like me. These two should not be in the area where two family heads are fighting. And Dorsey's still a regular. Belier, who has a weak body, is being controlled by Enkidu. But regardless, these two are the last two people you would expect to be in the area surviving. And with all the destructive force, they should not be able to barely escape a bit. I'm telling you. Like, in all honesty, and I've said this before, Bong Bong is probably the worst possible thing I've seen in the series as far as how divisive it is. Like, and Dorothy's get out of jail free card literally can just travel her and she can dodge everything. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate that her entire kit involves that. What was the point of her learning from Yuri, learning the Shiffon sword and everything else, where she doesn't even, contribute or use these techniques in a way that helps her? It's just Bong Bong, the fucking gifts that she got. I hate it, fam. I hate it. So whatever they do is whatever they do. But that's pretty much the chapter. Um, Predictions. I think we stay here. You can't just have GUSGANG's head fly off and then POV switch. Like you can't. And if we do, I'm gonna be pissed because I gotta deal with another week of my Discord harassing me with GUSGANG's head being cut off, and I'm not willing to suffer that. So yeah, I think we stay here. I think we get to see whatever GUSGANG wrote in that paper is what's gonna change things. And then we get back to the fight. Now, maybe after whatever GUSGANG changes to or does with the paper, and he probably gets his library out because why would we get teased about it if he's not going to use it? But regardless, I think after he comes back and does whatever he does, we finally get a POV change for a switch. We probably get a little bit of Andor seeing Belair. I really don't care to see them. I really don't want to. But yeah. But the chapter is a 6.5 out of 10. The art is not fantastic. Okay, the panels that we did get of Traum and GUSGANG themselves are pretty clean, but it's the fight. The fight is so cluttered, and I just don't enjoy that part of it. So y'all let me know y'all rating. That's the only reason it's not a 7.5. But it's doing what it's supposed to do. We're getting through the fight. It's just the Belair and Dorsey stuff is meh, and then the art is meh. So I'll see you guys Friday possibly. I am gonna be a little bit of traveling back and forth because of the holiday here, but I'll keep you guys updated, and especially with the anime coming up. Till then, I'll see you Friday. Peace.